The 2014 high school football season has come to a close, but what a season it was.
The state's handed out their hardware, but we got our own hardware to hand out on the WHBL Game of the Week award show. Starts right now.
And welcome inside the WHBL studios. Here I'm Joe Putnam, joined once again by Andrew Callista. And Andrew, it seems like we've done this a lot this year.
Yeah, just a couple times. We've seen some great games. We've seen some amazing performances. And Joe, it's now time to recognize those outstanding performances that we've seen all year long.
Absolutely. And all the way from Du Bois down to Altoona, Mifflin County, State College, and all points in between, we saw some outstanding performances throughout our run here on the 2014 Game of the Week. And it's time to recognize some of those. But first off, we do want to welcome in one of our experts that I had the pleasure of talking to throughout the season, certainly. I know, Andrew, you did as well. Mark Snyder from ESPN Radio 1450 joining us. And Mark, I know you had the chance to see not only the State College Little Lions, but some of the other great teams throughout the District 6-9 area. Who are some of the players this year that really impressed you with their exploits on the field?
Well, yeah, and it's great to be with you guys. Certainly looking at State College, and, what's interesting about this team looking forward is a lot of their better players are going to be back next year. But certainly Jordan Misher comes to the front of my mind, over 1,000 yards this year, and really carried a State College offense to the state quarterfinals. But then, you forget about how good that State College defense was, too, and Stan Martin's a guy that really jumped out at me all season with his consistent play at the linebacker position. And then, taking a look at another team, Altoona getting not only to the WPIL playoffs, but winning a game there and really led by Eli Menser, a back that they kind of haven't had for a while. And I think Altoona's now starting to get some more of the type of players that they're going to need to compete in the WPIL. And then, Bishop Guilfoyle, obviously the state championship run. I mean, it's hard to not recognize some of their players, Brandon Chadbourne and also Sam McCloskey, who had big state title game performances as well. It's a big reason why they went on here from District 6 and won it all in Hershey.
Mark, regional pride is a huge thing in the state football playoffs. District 6 performed very well. What does that mean for the region as a whole, especially with Guilfoyle bringing that title home for the first time since Tyrone?
I hope it means for the other schools that they realize that they can compete at this level. I think we talk about it a lot, but I'm not sure how it ultimately resounds with the teams that, hey, if you're one of the top teams in this district, that also means you're probably one of the top teams in the state, and at least set yourself up for a nice run come state playoff time. So, look, if you can get to the top of District 6 in any classification, you're basically one of the top 8-10 teams in the state. And so hopefully BG's run and some of the runs by some of the other teams like Somerset, State College, that should hopefully prove that there's some good football played here. And maybe District 6 will start getting some statewide respect as well based on the success that they had at state level this year.
And obviously, Mark, I know you saw the State College Little Lions throughout the course of the season. They had a phenomenal season, especially at the end, advancing into the PIAA state playoffs. What does this mean for the Little Lions going forward into 2015, and what does it mean for the players that put together this run?
I think that this team was based around a lot of young players. You could almost even argue this team arrived a year early. I think they benefited from a little bit of a down year from some of the other Quad 8 teams. Would love to see Mifflin County get back into a championship mix here in the future. But looking at State College, a lot of their key performers that I went through there earlier are all back next year. So they should have another solid defense. Now they're going to have to work in a new quarterback. But they're going to have Misher back as a key running back and certainly a key focal point of their offense. And then, I just really like Matt Wintel, and in-game is certainly something that for a new coach that you look at. But I thought from a preparation standpoint, he had that team ready to go in the 2 playoff wins, almost like I've never seen a State College team be prepared for. I mean, they just knew exactly what the opponent was going to do. They were prepared for everything they saw. They were just locked in those 2 wins over Du Bois and McDowell. So I think from his standpoint, now a year under his belt as the head coach, and kind of maybe do things a little bit differently next season that maybe didn't work as well this year, and really set up what could be a special year next year for State College. They're going to play another tough schedule, which I think benefits them in the long run when they get into matchups in the district playoffs, but even more so in the state playoffs. And the biggest thing for State College looking forward is going to be, can they find a way to get over the WPIL hump? They were competitive against Pine Richland, and Pine Richland's a great team. There's no doubt about it. But State College as a whole has just not had a lot of success against District 7. If they find a way to do that and knock off a team, they can make a run to a state championship.
Mark, thank you so much for joining us. I know you've seen a lot of football this year. I can't believe it's over. The season flown by. We'll catch up with you down the road. When we come back on the WHBL Game of the Week end of season award show, we're handing out some more hardware with our Player of the Year.
He watches, bam, he's gone right there. Still on his feet, still in down. And Rob, look at the speed. Looks over, checks down, picks him up, hits him in stride.
Welcome back to the WHBL Game of the Week award show. Time to hand out our Game of the Year. And Joe, we had some barn burners and some whoa Nellies, not to steal some lines from Keith Jackson, but we had some great football games all season long.
We absolutely did, Andrew, and let's start with our nominees for the Game of the Year. First off, Central versus Clearfield, a back-and-forth contest between 2 perennial powerhouses and rivals early in the season that wasn't over until Mike Mock provided some late heroics.
Bellefonte, Penns Valley in the Center County matchup. A backyard brawl is what it was, and it was Bellefonte driving down the field to send that game into overtime and then get the W in overtime at the Rams Field.
Mount Union and Bellwood Annis, a highly anticipated matchup. Mount Union looking to score a big win on the road, and thanks to Trevon Walker and especially B.J. Lohner, they did just that.
Joe mentioned B.J. Lohner. It was B.J. Lohner versus Alec Hunter in the District 6 AA final, as Alec Hunter's Tyrone Golden Eagles ended up winning out to take home that District 6 title.
But our winner for this year's Game of the Year goes to Central and Clearfield. Andrew?
What a game it was. Mike Mock passed right there to Justin Helsel. Look at him go up and get the ball 40 yards on the TD strike early to put the Dragons up 7-0. Noah Benton then avoiding his counterpart Eric Sellers, and he's going to escape this pocket. Look at the moves. Find John Michael Knepp, and he's going to race down all the way to the 4-yard line for 68 yards. Cut that highlight up. Central's up 21-0, but Sellers then finds Nick Kovalik on the slant, and the comeback is on. 21-all now, and Sellers, read option. Can he get in from 16 yards out? Yes, he can, and the Bison are up 21-0 in the fourth quarter. Central responds though. Mock on the screen to Nick Hohenstein. Look at the moves. Gets out to the sideline and 45 yards for the TD. We are tied. Not so fast. The extra point is blocked. 28-27. Clearfield leads. There you see it. 33 years since the Dragons won. But Mock stands tall. Finds this time Alec Hohenstein for 40 yards to the Bison 25. And a few plays later, under 30 seconds left, Mock on the rollout hits Alex Hohenstein for the TD, and that is your game winner. Central going 80 yards in 79 seconds for the win.
An absolutely incredible game. Our privilege to be able to call that one right here on WHBL.
Going over to the Player of the Year, we have some great nominees in this. District 6 was loaded with talent all across the board, Joe. And the first guy I want to point out is Eli Mentor. What a year, leading Quad A in the WPIL with over 1,600 yards on the season.
Absolutely, and you can also mention Sam McCloskey. McCloskey over 2,100 yards, 47 touchdowns. Not only that, he was a big reason why Bishop Guilfoyle took home the Class A Pennsylvania state title.
Caleb Kephart, one of the top rushers in the state of Pennsylvania, over 2,500 yards for the Portage Mustang. What a season he had as they eventually lost out to the state champions, Bishop Guilfoyle Marauders.
Gabe French was a dual threat, but really it was his arm that did most of the damage for Du Bois this year. Over 3,500 yards, 41 touchdowns through the air on the season, but he also added near 700 yards on the ground and 8 more scores.
B.J. Lohner, big playmaker he was, could do it all out of the quarterback spot, the wide receiver spot, had over 1,300 yards rushing, and he was just Mr. Electric all year long.
And our winner is Gabe French from Du Bois, of course. One totals you really don't see in this area too often through the air. Gabe French from Du Bois, our Game of the Week Player of the Year, and we are pleased now to be joined via Skype by Gabe French from Du Bois. And Gabe, first off, congratulations on a great season, great senior season with the Beavers. How does it feel to receive this honor?
Oh, it's a great honor. Just to be considered for an award like that is amazing. With all the people, all the guys that are working hard, it's just great to be honored with such an award.
Gabe, one of the cool things about being the Player of the Year is normally you're the standout guy on the team. But you guys had a lot of stud wide receivers, and one of those was Bryson Paulinelli. What was the communication like between you and those 4 top guys?
Oh, my God. Well, they were a great group of kids. They were working hard all summer, even in the weight room all winter. Those guys are studs, and they're great to throw to. We communicated well on the field. I knew where they were going to be on every given play. And really, it was just natural. Once we got on the field, we just made plays together.
Now, of course, Gabe, you guys kind of run that spread offense, and you like to throw a lot more than other teams in the area. I mean, there are some teams up there that are sort of going that way now. But what is it like to be able to play in an offense where you are literally the centerpiece?
Oh, it's just great to get the ball to all my guys. It's really just a testament for my offensive line that I'm able to get the ball to these guys every single play, get the ball to a different guy. I like to spread the ball around a lot, and my guys love catching it and trying to make plays.
Gabe, in that spread type of offense, take us through a couple of your reads. What are some of the keys you're reading? Are you looking for that high safety, or are you looking for what the corner's doing?
Well, you got to come out of the huddle and figure out where the safeties are. You like to get a good idea where those linebackers are dropping. But mainly it comes down to just whether your guy beats his man, and you got to make the right read based on that. Splitting the safeties, just high-low and the linebackers and all.
Now, Gabe, of course, we know that the future is bright for you, but when you look and you see the college football scene, the NFL scene, is there anybody in particular that you like to pattern yourself after?
I just like to mix a bunch of quarterback styles into my own sort of play. I like to think of myself as more of a pocket passer, but I'm trying to develop my running skills as well, and I think I succeeded in that this year.
Gabe, hate to put you on the spot, but everybody's talking about Johnny Manziel. What do you think about Johnny Money recently in the NFL?
I think that he will have success in the long run, but I guess last week just wasn't his week.
Now, Gabe, I know you like to have fun out there as well, a little bit different maybe than perhaps Johnny Manziel, but what is the most fun part about playing up there at Du Bois, not only this season but throughout the past 4 years?
Just playing with the boys, It's great just to meet those kids and get to know them all well. Just being part of the team is just a great experience.
Gabe, the first game of the year started out your season really hot. The 7 TDs against Mifflin County. Did you ever think you could score that many times in a game?
Well, I was hoping I could. But no, I did not foresee that game going as well as it did. Obviously, you don't see going into a game with a tough team like that performing that well, but God blessed me with the ability to do that, and I'm not going to argue with them.
All right, Gabe, thank you very much for the time. We really appreciate it. Congratulations on being named our Game of the Week Player of the Year, and best of luck to you as you continue your football career on at the next level.
Thank you.
All right, that's Gabe French, the quarterback for Du Bois Area High School, our WHVL Game of the Week Player of the Year. Coming up, we'll talk Coach of the Year and Team of the Year next here on WHVL.
Wildest dreams, they might be that. Hold up the gold football that says...
Welcome back to the WHVL Game of the Week Year-End Awards Show as Andrew Callista and I break down the awards here for this season. And Andrew, we've got 2 more left to go here in the show.
That's right. We start with handing out the Coach of the Year award. Joe, a lot of great coaching performances across the entire DMA, and none other than Coach Franco down in Altoona for you.
Absolutely. John Frank of Altoona, his team went 8-3 this year, but won a game in the Whitfield tournament for the first time ever.
Bob Landis from Somerset, 14-2 on the year, AAA PIAA state semifinalist, and destroyed powerhouse Selinsgrove Seals in the first round. How do you like those apples?
And of course, Justin Wheeler of Bishop Guilfoyle. Just 3 years ago, he took over. He went 1-8 in his first season, but this year 16-0. And Bishop Guilfoyle takes home the single A state crown, first District 6 team to win a state title since Tyrone.
Head coach Gary Gauss from the Portage Mustangs, 11-2, and runner-up in District 6, eventually losing out to the state champion Bishop Guilfoyle Marauders.
And the award goes to Andrew.
No surprise. Justin Wheeler, when you bring home a state title, that's the kind of hardware that you get to take home. And just a great job all year long by Coach Wheeler, starting his coaching career 1-8 down there and then finishing this year with a state title in just year form. And Joe, Team of the Year, obviously Bishop Guilfoyle will be one of the nominees.
We've got 4 nominees. Our first nominee is Altoona. As we said before, great season for the Mountain Lions. They won a Whitfield game in the tournament, that is, for the first time in school history.
And Somerset, 14-2, as I mentioned when talking about Coach Bob Landis. Great season for them, AAA semifinalists.
How about the Little Lions of State College? We talked about them earlier on, and of course, State College finished strong, going all the way to the state quarterfinals before ultimately falling to state runner-up Pine Richland.
What can you say about Bishop Guilfoyle? State champions, District 6 champions. That's all you need to know.
And of course, I think in this one also a no-brainer, Andrew. It has to go to the Marauders of Bishop Guilfoyle, our team of the year here on the WHVL Game of the Week. We had the chance to see them in their District 6 title game.
That's right, Joe. We saw them here on District 6. Joe, you actually had them on the NFHS network on radio in the state playoffs. They shut down the player of possibly the year in the state of Pennsylvania, Dominic Braglone, in the semifinals. Just a great team all along, and we're pleased to be joined by head coach of the Marauders right now, Justin Wheeler. Coach, a phenomenal year for you and your guys. What a way to close it out. You bring that state title back home to Central Pennsylvania. What was going through your mind as those final seconds ticked down in Hershey against Clareton?
It was just an unbelievable feeling. I mean, it was almost hard to believe. I remember at one point talking to my offensive coordinator through the headset, and I just kept saying, we are going to win the state championship. I mean, we're going to win the state championship. And it was just, the emotions to that are just amazing. I mean, I've been around high school sports and sports in general my whole life, and that kind of feeling is just incredible. It probably really still hasn't sunk in when you start really reflecting on how special of a season it was. But at that moment, it was just joy. It was just so exciting for everyone.
And Coach, I know it's been a long road for you and the Marauders, and not just this year, even though it seems like just yesterday was training camp in August, I'm sure. But take us through, you went 1-8 in your first year 3 years ago. Now 16-0, state champions. What were the keys in that transition, that transformation?
Yeah, it was. It's definitely been a journey, and I think actually that first year going 1-8 probably really helped us along our way. I mean, for me, having a great group of assistant coaches was the first thing we really tried to make sure we did. And that year in particular, you really coach hard. I mean, you really try to find a way to get back on track to try to get wins. So we came together as a staff. And then the kids, they wanted to win. And we didn't have many months going into that first season and got hired a little bit late. And so, we knew we had a full off season, and we had a team meeting right after that year. And, we said, these are the things we need to do to win. It's about off season. It's about speed. It's about strength. It's about stamina. So we really laid out a groundwork for what we wanted them to do. And this group of kids just did it. I mean, they came in at 6 a.m. for the workouts. They stayed after school. I mean, I have a group of kids who came home from vacations early to do different passing leagues that we had. So the dedication was just tremendous. To start at 1-8 and end 16-0 with a group of freshmen who you started with. It is just hard to describe how amazing that is and how special of a moment. I mean, every year, most years you don't end very happy because you end with a loss. But this year, to end with a win, to end with the state championship, to go full circle. It is just amazing.
Coach, the state championships in football, a lot of regional pride very often. You guys just brought the state title back to District 6 in Central Pennsylvania for the first time since Tyrone. That's got to be something special for you.
It is. The area has been just amazing. I mean, they met us at the state line or the county line to come into Blair County with a police escort. That brought us into Altoona and right down Plank Road where the mall is and the restaurants. The Logan Township Police and the fire companies were there. Whistles blowing, lights going. They had blocked off all the intersections. People were coming out of restaurants, clapping for us and cheering and coming out of their houses. And it was just an amazing experience to be a part of. I've gotten phone calls, text message, emails from coaches and people from all over District 6, just how excited they are for us to bring a championship back to the area, and be the first one to do it since '99 to a great Tyrone team. Then is truly special, and we couldn't be happier to represent the area. We try to do that with honor, we're real happy that we got a chance to win it for the area.
Coach, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And congratulations to not only you, but all your players and some of your great players like Berger, McCloskey, and the Chadbourne brothers.
Yeah, they are. And that's a great group of kids, and I'm going to miss those seniors a bunch. We started together. I'm glad I got to end with the state championship with them. We're going to continue to work hard and get better, hopefully continue this journey together next year. But thank you guys. This is amazing what you guys do, and bringing high school football games live is just an incredible thing for the kids to have and for fans and players. So you guys do an amazing job, and we'd like to thank you, too, for your support and allowing us to be a part of it.
Thanks, Coach. Really appreciate it.
And fantastic to be able to talk to head coach Justin Wheeler of the Bishop Guilfoyle Marauders. A fantastic coach and a fantastic players add up to a fantastic team.
I was impressed with the Gabe French interview. Did you see his tie? Really repping his school right there with the DuBois Beavers black and red color tie right there. Great kid. He had a great season. And, Joe, I know you had fun this year. Our crew had fun. I had fun.
Absolutely. And special thanks as well to Brian Tripp and Rob Oshinsky, who helped us out throughout the year as well, and to our great WHVL crew. For Andrew Callista, I'm Joe Putnam. We'll see you next season here on the WHVL Game of the Week. So long, everybody, and happy holidays.